What happens when you don't feel like it? Let's be honest, it's easy to work when you're motivated. It's easy to wake up early. When you're excited about your goals, it's easy to exercise when you feel energetic. It's easy to study when you're inspired. It's easy to work hard when you can see the reward. But what happens when the excitement disappears? What happens when you wake up tired? What happens when you don't feel like working? What happens when nobody is watching? What happens when progress feels slow? That's where most people quit. Not because they don't have potential, not because they're incapable, but because they built their life around motivation, and motivation is unreliable. It comes, it goes. Some days you're unstoppable. Other days you don't want to get out of bed if your success depends on how you feel. Your results will always be inconsistent. That's why today is day 9. Today we're talking about something stronger than motivation. Discipline. Because motivation gets you started, discipline keeps you moving. 1. Motivation is not the PROB. It's useful. A motivational video can inspire you. Powerful speech can wake you up. A new goal can make you excited. But motivation has one major weakness. It doesn't last. You watch a motivational video at night, you feel unstoppable. You make a plan. Tomorrow morning, the alarm rings. Suddenly the motivation is gone. You hit snooze and the plan disappears. Why? Because motivation is based on emotion and emotions change. You cannot build a stable life on something unstable. That's why you need discipline. 2. Discipline means doing isn't waking up every day feeling powerful. Discipline is waking up when you don't feel like it. It's studying when you'd rather scroll. It's exercising when you're tired. It's working when nobody's watching. It's keeping your promise when the excitement is gone. Discipline says, and then asks, what needs to be done? That's it. No drama, no negotiation, no endless thinking, just execution. Point 3. Stop. Negotiating with Wayowara Saleftis is one of the biggest productivity killers. Your alarm rings, think. 5 more minutes. Then I'll start after breakfast. Then I'll do it tonight. Then today was busy. I'll start tomorrow. You're constantly negotiating. Every time you negotiate with yourself, you make discipline weaker. Create rules instead. If your rule is, when my alarm rings, I get up, then there is nothing to discuss. If your rule is I train every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you don't wake up asking whether you feel like it. The decision has already been made. That's powerful. 4. Make fewer DC's I's O&S. Every decision uses mental energy. What time should I wake up? Should I work out? Should I study? Should I work now or later? Should I check my phone? Should I watch one video? Should I take a break? If you keep deciding, you'll eventually choose comfort. Instead, create routines. Same wake up time, same workout schedule. Same work block, same study time. Same evening routine. The goal is to make the right action automatic. You don't need to become a machine. You simply need fewer opportunities to talk yourself out of doing what matters. 5. Discipline is a musali about physical training. The first workout is difficult. Your body isn't used to it, but you continue. Eventually, your body adapts. Discipline works similarly. At first, waking up early feels difficult. Working without your phone feels difficult. Saying no feels difficult. Finishing tasks feels difficult, but repetition changes you. Every time you do something difficult, you make the next difficult thing slightly easier. You're training your ability to act despite discomfort. That's discipline. 6. Start SMA where people make a mistake. They decide to transform their entire life overnight tomorrow. 5. AM wake up. 2 hour workout, 3 hours of studying, perfect diet. No social media. 5 books. 10 goals, and by day 3, everything collapses. Why? Because the plan was unrealistic. Don't try to become perfect. Build one habit, then another. Start with 10 minutes of reading. 20 minutes of exercise. 30 minutes of focused work. 1 hour without social media. 1 important task completed. Small wins create momentum. 7. Keep your daily promise small enough to remember. Day 8. We talked about keeping promises to yourself. This matters even more here. Don't promise, I'll work for 5 hours every day forever. Promise something realistic. I'll work for 30 focused minutes today. Then do it. Tomorrow. Do it again. The goal isn't to impress yourself for one day. The goal is to become someone who can be trusted for months. Consistency beats intensity. 8. The Today Arule. Here's a simple rule. Never miss twice. Miss one workout. Fine. Don't miss the next one. Waste one day. It happens. Don't waste tomorrow. Eat badly one day. Don't turn it into an entire week. Lose focus today. Return tomorrow. The problem isn't falling off. Everyone falls off. The problem is staying down. Never let one. bad day become your identity. Nah, stop looking for the perfect emo there. Will always be an excuse. You're tired. You're busy. You're stressed. The weather isn't right. You don't have enough money. Don't have enough knowledge. You don't have enough time. Sometimes those problems are real. But if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll wait forever. Let's start with what you have. Let's start where you are. Start badly. Start slowly. But start because imperfect action creates progress. Perfect planning creates nothing. 10. Discipline requires that the Shirafasi can't have everything. If you want more time for your goals, something else has to decrease. Less scrolling, less pointless entertainment, less parching, less unnecessary drama, less random conversations, less comfort. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy life. It means you need priorities. You can't spend 5 hours on entertainment and then complain that you don't have time for your goals. Your time is finite, Your choices have consequences. 11. Comfort is EXP and SIV. Comfort feels good now. But too much comfort becomes expensive later. Sleeping in feels good now. But regret can come later. Scrolling feels good. Now, but lost opportunities come later. Avoiding difficult work feels good now. But weakness remains later. Discipline is the opposite. Discipline often feels difficult now, but creates freedom later. You sacrifice comfort today so your future can become easier. That's the trade point 1, 2. Don't depend on WLLPOWR. Willpower is limited. If your environment constantly tempts you, eventually you'll give in. So make the environment easier. Put your phone in another room. Delete distracting apps. Keep your workout clothes ready. Prepare your workspace the night before. Healthy food available. Block. Distracting websites. Make the good choice easier. Make the bad choice harder. You don't need superhuman willpower. You need a smart environment. 13. Your habits are voting for your ID and TIT. Why every action is a vote. When you exercise, you're voting for. I'm someone who takes care of my body. When you study, you're voting for. I'm someone who invests in my future. When you keep your promises, you're voting for. I'm someone who can trust myself. When you waste 5 hours scrolling, you're voting for another identity. One action doesn't define you, but repeated actions create patterns, and patterns create identity. So ask yourself, what kind of person am I voting to become today? 14. Discipline, when nobody is W18, can perform when people are watching. The real test happens when nobody knows. Nobody sees you studying. Nobody sees you exercising. Nobody sees you working late. Nobody sees you saying no to distractions nobody knows. And that's exactly why it matters. Because you're not doing it for applause. You're doing it because you decided your future matters. That's a different level of discipline. 15. Stop chasing instant. RS is one of the biggest reasons people quit. They work for 1 week and expect transformation. They exercise for 10 days and expect a completely different body. They post videos for 2 weeks and expect millions of views. They learn for a month and expect mastery, reality. Doesn't work like that. Most meaningful. Results are invisible at first. You work. Nothing seems to happen. You work again, still nothing. You keep going. Then, suddenly, the results become visible. That's the power of compounding. 16. Boarding days. A part of the PROC is something nobody wants to hear. Success is often boring. Same workout, same practice, same work, same routine, same effort, again, and. Again, there won't always be excitement. There won't always be inspirational music. There won't always be a breakthrough. Sometimes the biggest step forward is simply doing the same thing. Again, learn to love repetition. Because repetition creates mastery. 17. Don't make your mood your boss. Your mood shouldn't control your schedule. If you only work when you're happy, you won't work consistently. If you only exercise when you're energetic, you won't exercise consistently. If you only study when you're motivated, you won't study consistently. Your mood can be acknowledged, but it doesn't have to be obeyed. You can say, I'm tired, and still do the work. You can say, I'm nervous, and still take the step. You can say, I don't feel motivated, and still continue. That's strength. 18, the 10-minute rule when you don't feel like doing something. Tell yourself I'll do it for 10 minutes. 10 minutes of exercise. 10 minutes of studying. 10 minutes of writing. 10 minutes of cleaning, 10 minutes of focused work. Often, once you start, yo continue. But even if you stop after 10 minutes, you still kept your promise. The goal is to break the resistance to starting, because starting is usually the hardest part. 19. Create a non-negotiable. Choose one thing that you will do every day. It could be reading, exercise, writing, meditation, learning, working on your business, creating content. Choose one. Then make it non-negotiable. Even if you only do 10 minutes. Do Italiano. You're building the identity. I don't break this promise. Over time. That becomes part of who you are. 20. Your day 9 challenge today. Complete these 5 tasks. TASK. 1. Pick one non-negotiable. Choose one habit. Do it today. DASKY. To remove one distraction, delete or block one thing that repeatedly steals your time. Task 3. Do one thing you don't feel like doing. Don't wait for motivation. Do it anyway. Task 4. Use the 10-minute rule. Start something you've been avoiding. Only promise yourself 10 minutes. Task 5. Write this sentence. I don't need motivation. I need to keep my promise. Put it somewhere you'll see it tomorrow morning. 21. The nightly discipline check tonight. Ask yourself 3 questions. Did I do what I said I would do? Where did I choose comfort over growth? What will I do differently tomorrow? Don't use these questions to attack yourself. Use them to improve. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. It means correction. You notice the mistake. Then adjust. Final mensaje, do it anyway. Let me tell you something. There will be days when you don't feel like becoming the person you said you wanted to become. There will be mornings when your bed feels better than your goals. There will be nights when your phone feels more attractive than your future. There will be moments when quitting feels easier. And that's normal. You don't need to eliminate those feelings. You need to stop letting them make your decisions. Because the future version of you is built on the days when you didn't feel like it. Anyone can work when they're motivated. Anyone can be disciplined when life is easy. But who are you when things become difficult? That's the real test. When nobody is watching, do you still work? When progress is slow, do you still continue? When you fail, do you return? When motivation disappears, do you keep your promise? Because that's where transformation happens. Not during the exciting moments. During the boring ones. During the difficult ones. During the days nobody sees. Those are the days that change you. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect mood. Stop waiting for the perfect morning. Stop waiting for the perfect opportunity. Do it anyway. Wake up anyway. Train anyway. Study anyway. Work anyway. Create anyway. Start anyway. Keep going anyway. You don't have to feel powerful. You just have to take the next step. And then another and another. Until the person who once needed motivation for everything becomes the person who simply does what needs to be done. That's discipline. And discipline changes everything. Because once you become disciplined, you don't have to constantly fight yourself. Your habits start carrying you. Your routine starts carrying you. Your standards start carrying you. Your identity starts carrying you. You become someone who doesn't need to ask, do I feel like it? You ask, what needs to be done? And then you do it. That's the person we're building. Not perfect. Not emotionless. Not superhuman. Who's reliable, focused, consistent, strong enough to keep going. This is day 9. 9 days into the transformation. You've already learned to take control of your life. You've learned to manage your time. You've learned to stop seeking approval. You've learned to build confidence. Now you're learning the skill that holds everything together. Discipline, because your goals don't need another motivational speech. They need your daily actions. So tonight, make one promise. Tomorrow, keep it. Then make another. Keep that one too. One promise. One action. One day. Repeated long enough. And you'll become someone you never thought you could be. Don't wait for motivation. Build discipline. Do it anyway. Day 9 complete. One day. One decision. One change at a time. Because repetition creates mastery.